let's talk babies. Oh lordy, I have been so clucky, it's not funny, where I took a pregnancy test and I was disappointed. Now you might think that's normal because it's like, you're a woman, you're 27 years old, like you get to a point where it's like, you know, like you need a baby, it's time to have a baby, like, you know, fuck that. No, when I was younger, and I'm talking like 17, 18, 19, like not young, but you know, and I didn't want kids. Not because I didn't love kids. It's like, I love kids. Like, I've got so many beautiful little cousins. I used to babysit so many little children. Love kids. But didn't want to have any because I was scared. I was like, it all started when I moved in to my cousin's place when I was 17, and her little boy, beautiful little boy Xavier, was just after his first birthday, I think, actually. Yeah, so he was 1 and a bit, and she told me all the nitty-gritty stories of what happened to her, and which is all normal, but terrified me. Like, I know where babies come from, right? But up until the age of 17, I never looked at a home birth video. Like, I know how they get made. I know that they come out of your vajayjay. But I never looked at a home birth video because the idea of pushing a baby out through your vajayjay, which is this beautiful, delicate pink flower, is unnatural. I know it's all natural, it just seems like it's unnatural. So hearing all these stories from my cousin, not horror stories, all natural, normal things that happen, scared me. Now, I've always been a bit private down there. Like, I didn't have a proper boyfriend until I was 18. I didn't have sex until I was 18. I didn't drink until I was 18. Like, I was, you know, but like, I didn't want kids. Like, I love kids, and I was like, when I was younger, I was like, oh yeah, I'll adopt, because I'm not pushing one out of my vajayjay. I'm not having doctors and nurses with their head and hands down there, tugging away, watching it expand 3 times its size, if not more, and having a baby come out, and all the glad, and all the gooky stuff, and all the nasty, like, no, none of that I wanted. I hated pap smears, not because they're uncomfortable, because they're over, like, you know, like, let's be honest, they're very quick. They're not that uncomfortable. The only uncomfortable part is spreading your legs to a stranger. Sober. Spreading your legs to a stranger, getting a plastic ducky put up there, having your vagina opened and widened, which already hurts. So imagining that in my head as a young teenage girl at 17, 18, that plus a baby coming out of it, like, no. And then all the problems that could happen before birth. Like, I started looking into it, all the problems that can happen before birth, during birth, after birth. Nah, didn't want a bar of it. Was not interested in having kids right up until about 2 years ago, when I turned 25 and I met someone. Like, I'm 27 now. I'm going through a divorce with my first husband, ex-husband. Like, I didn't even want kids with him. Like at one point, like once you marry someone, you start thinking about kids. But I was like, you know, and, you know, I started feeling that maybe I wanted kids. Like, I don't know, it's like marriage just changed your train of thought. Like, I think it's because it's almost expected. Like, people expect you, like, oh, you're married now, when's the baby, like, when are you gonna have kids? Like, everyone asks you that question once you get married. And you do start feeling a little bit like, oh, do I want kids? Could I go through all that? Could I face my fears of childbirth? You know, so the thought did run through my mind. I didn't have a child with my ex-husband, and thank God, because, you know, he's now my ex-husband. But now I'm with my partner, who I reckon's my soulmate, and like, he's, even though we piss each other off and we're a classic couple, we argue, we love, we laugh, everything, I've finally reached a point. I don't know if it's maturity, I don't know if it's now I feel like I've met someone who I can have a baby with, because that is a lifetime commitment. If you have a baby with someone, you are tied to that person until one of you dies. I know that sounds horrible, but it's true. Like, you are tied to this person whether you love them or not. You've had a child with them. They're never leaving your life. And I feel like now that I've found someone who is amazing, I'm starting to get that clucky feeling. Like, you see a baby and you're like, ah! Like, I started watching home birth videos. Like, one born every minute. Yeah, I watched all of them. Like, did it freak me out? Ooh. Did it freak me out? Yeah. At first, I was like, you know, it looks messy. It looks horrible. You got your legs spread and there's doctors looking up you. There's nurses looking up you. There's fingers going up you. There's your vagina getting stretched and God knows. There's complications. And the more I watched, the more clucky I got, regardless of all the things that used to scare me. And now I want kids. Who to thank it? If anyone, like, if for me, anyone that really, really knows me, knows that that is a huge leap for where I used to be. And I pinpoint it down, not just to my age, like, yes, I'm 27. No, I'm not too old to have kids. Yes, I've matured with age, but it's also I'm now comfortable in life where if I have a child, I am happy to have a child with this man. It's so corny. But it's like, yeah, I didn't think at one point I would start getting as clucky as I was. Like, there was a point where my Marina, my UDI, my UDI, my Marina, my birth control was expiring, and I did a video on this where I had to get a new one put in. I went through a bit of a phase where I thought at one point I was pregnant. Because in my head, the Marina had expired. So in my head, I was thinking it's not working. Even though I know logically it's working. But it was mind fucking me. Like, and I thought I was pregnant. And you know what? I took a pregnancy test. And when it came back negative, I wanted to cry. Because I wanted to be pregnant. Like, what? I never thought in my lifetime I would want to be pregnant. When I was young, like, and when I say young, I mean like 10, like young. I was like, oh, 25 is a good age to have a baby. I reckon 25. I want a baby before I'm 25. If I could go back in time and tell my young self, bitch, you crazy, I would. Because, yeah, I hit 25 and I did not want babies. I did not want to, no. So, it still scared me at that point. I was 25, which I thought when I was younger was the day I was going to have kids. Like, I was married. Like, that's it. That's the next thing you do. You find a man, you marry them, you have babies. That's what you get told to do. That's what life expects of you. And I was 25 and I decided that I was still scared to have babies. And now I'm not. And it's weird. It's a whole new weird situation. Like, it's just weird. Like, to have that mentality, then you look back and look at how far you've come, how far you've progressed and matured in life, and you go, you know what? I can't believe that back then I didn't want kids. Like, but I was terrified of birth. Not really having a child. I knew I could support a child and love a child and teach a child and raise a child and all that fun stuff. But, yeah, fun. Still so naive. But, I never in my mind thought I would reach a point where I would be excited or even voluntarily want to birth a child. Or cesarean, whatever happens in the future. I'm not pregnant. There's a rumor going around that I'm pregnant, but I'm not pregnant. But you know what? I wish I was. Like, okay. I knew, let me tell you a story. It's very little. I knew I met, oh, hang on. Shit, dropping it. Okay. I knew I met the man of my, I wouldn't say man of my dreams, like, you know, I met my soulmate when, oh, baby kangaroo, sorry, distracted. My ex, alright, let's go back. How do I start this story? Alright. This is for a different story time. Really? It kind of really is. Okay, short story. I fell pregnant with my ex-husband. Shocker. And I started crying. As soon as the nurse came back saying, your pregnancy test was positive, because I went into hospital with a tummy ache, I burst into tears. I was terrified. Yes, because I was terrified of childbirth, but also because I was pregnant with someone I knew I couldn't fall pregnant with, like someone I didn't want to have a baby with. Like I said, whole other story. Follow with me. And I got home, walked in the door, still crying, gave him a hug and said, I'm pregnant. And with a blank look on his face, he said to me, well, you know what you have to do, right? And I did, because we had discussed it. We had a long talk about if I ever fall pregnant, we would get an abortion. Because we're not ready. We're not financially ready. Our relationship isn't strong enough. And I was young. I married at 21. Like, was I 20? I was young. Like, give me a break, alright? I fell pregnant. I was crying, and the first thing he said was, we're gonna have to get rid of it. Like, there was no support. no sympathy. Like, he put that inside me. Like, come on, man. Anyway, it happened. I got the abortion. That's another story. Don't hate me. Don't at me. My body, my decision, circumstances. Anyway, I had an abortion. Just a small shit. And that was it. Obviously, marriage didn't last. All went downhill after that. And yeah, here I am now, in the middle of a separation / divorce / fucking. And I'm with the man that I love. And I am excited. I was devastated when I found out my pregnancy test was negative. And when I told him it was negative, you know what he said? He went, "Aw." He was devastated too. Like, you need to find a man like that. You need to find a man where you go, "Babe, I think I'm pregnant." And he goes, "Alright, get a pregnancy test." Take a pregnancy test, and you go, "Oh, it's negative." And he's gutted. And he goes, "Oh." Like, ever since then, I've just gotten clucky. Like, you just find the right man. Like, it's so weird. Young Chrissy now, only a couple years difference. Really, couple years difference has made a whole difference. Like, I'm happy. I'm happy. And I want to fall pregnant. Not just yet. We're buying a house and renovating. I can't fall pregnant yet. Maybe 2 years. Check back in 2 years and I can be like, guess what? And guess what? I'm not freaking out. I'm not scared. That'll be the day. That'll be the day. And it will make my day and I'll be excited. And so will he. And we will... Life can be different. Life can be shit. But you know what? It can also be pretty good. It can change. You might meet someone and be like, you know what? I want to have a baby with you. Even though for the last 26 years of my life, I've absolutely... I've had a fear of childbirth. It's got to say something. It's got to say something. He's one lucky man. I'm lucky too.